Hi, my name is Dr. Jo Crane. I'm a consultant community paediatrician from Portsmouth. I'm making these videos because parents have asked me to make them on the stuff that I talk to people in clinic about. I am not a YouTuber, so you can tell that this is not really that professional, but I'm hoping I'm just going to get across the ideas that I talk to parents about how their children's brains work. This video is going to be on the different effect that our facial expression and our tone of voice makes and how key this is to controlling cortisol in our children's brains. So here's my hand model. If you are coming to this video having not seen any of my others, I would really recommend watching the others, otherwise this will make no sense, apart from it looks like I'm holding my hand up for some strange reason. So here's my brain, and I'm thinking about the difference that my tone of voice can make when my child has flipped their lid. Now, you're here, so this is you, okay? So if my child has flipped their lid and they're screaming and they're punching, it is really likely that you will start to be flipping your lid. Your cortisol will be increasing, but it's really key that you try to keep your lid down. Now, what you need to do, because what we always want them to do is we want them to do what we say and not what we do, but they do what we do and not what we say because of mirror neurons in our brains. So they will mirror image what you do. So your tone of voice is key, because if you start to talk to somebody more sharply like this, you create cortisol in them and you start to drive that cortisol. Now, as I said in one of my other videos, if you really shout and shout and shout because you're so cross, you might fill them with so much cortisol that they go from fight into freeze. So they've stopped and you think, oh well, that's okay, I've got my result. But actually all you've done is fill them with more cortisol and train that brain to freeze when there is somebody shouting at you. Now, actually what we're wanting to do is we want to model to our kids that actually we can stay calm to help them to learn to calm down. So one thing that I recommend to all parents is the what's happened. Now, the what's happened question can be said in two styles. The what happened, which is going to fill somebody with cortisol, and they might either ignore you, fly, or they might fight more, or they might freeze. But that what happened voice is actually just going to drive the cortisol. The other what happened is the what happened. Now, what happened with that tone of voice? What happened, mate? That immediately starts that brain working, connecting the two, and it immediately makes the child feel, I'm not in trouble, and that immediately starts oxytocin to be produced, and that starts that lid to come down. Now, you've got kids that, by definition, you're watching this because you wouldn't be watching it if they were all absolutely fine and listened to you every moment. So when you start doing this, you'll think, oh, it doesn't work. I have to shout to get them to listen. But actually, if you start to talk to them more calmly, what happened? You all right, mate? Actually, what it will do is you will teach them and then you will grow those pathways. Now, by definition, you're watching this video, so your kids are not the average kid that will stop and be rational. They're more hyperactive, they're more inattentive, they respond more frequently and flip their lids more frequently. But if you can, and if you're finding that your lid is starting to flip, just move away as much as you can. Breathe. Do things to get your lid down, because that is so key to getting your kid's lid down. I'm going to stop now because this video is on 4 minutes. So remember, your tone of voice is so key. Your facial expression is so key. Thank you for listening.